that's happening. Yes, this feeling is real. That sense you have of a boot tread stomping down on your psyche, on your soul, that is what this feeling is. It's the same one they experienced in that other place, in that other time in history that is such a parallel to ours. It is growing. It is happening right in front of our eyes. The horrors, the agonies, the constant failings of our checks and balances is real. Right now, they are trying to turn Dr. Fauci into some scapegoat for what exactly? There was a global pandemic. Millions of people died. Trump commended Dr. Fauci for Operation Warp Speed, which created the vaccine that saved so many lives. Empirical evidence showed Donald Trump bungled the response, and that's why so many lives were lost here. They're relitigating something from 7 years ago to try to shift blame from the person who was in charge, Trump, to somebody who is in charge of the correct scientific response, Dr. Fauci, to distract us, to make it look like they have done nothing wrong, and of course, to keep them from taking responsibility for anything. The Epstein files, the Iran war, the blowing up of speedboats, the corruption that's happening all around us. They want you focused on what Biden did, what Clinton did, what Fauci did. It is totally insane. It is totally authoritarian. It is totally real. And what you feel, that pain, that sense of suffocation is real. And I don't have anything more to say today than that. It's happening. What to do, how we do it, we will continue to talk about. We will continue to witness it, as is our choice to stand firm, at least in that. But today, just an acknowledgement. Yeah, we are living through one of the darkest times in our country's history.
What's so crazy about all of this is that everybody seems to understand what is going on. Everybody seems to understand the amount of corruption that is going on. Everybody seems to understand, that they're literally running human trafficking rings. Everybody seems to understand that there is a XEX, trafficking ring for children and so on and so forth. Everybody seems to understand that the Pentagon just doesn't know where the money is disappearing to. Everybody seems to understand that there's no reason for the Iran war to be happening right now. Everybody seems to understand the level of corruption we're at. It's out there, right? Everything is out there for us to see. It really isn't like they're hiding it, right? It's not like they're hiding it. Every single thing that they're doing, every evil that they're doing, every corruption tactic that they're doing, right? We seem to understand that is going on. Right? We seem to have a clear idea of what is happening to the country, but nobody's busting a move. Right? This is what's so crazy to me. Right? And then this is what I said about the whole Epstein files too. I said that was a test. Right? C-19, that was also a test. Right? C-19 was a compliance test. Let's see if they'll even do anything. Let's see if they'll stay home. Let's see if they will listen to daddy, right? Daddy government. Let's see if they listen to Daddy Sam, right? Many of you did. Many of you did listen to Daddy Sam. Many of you stayed your little scary butts right in the house, right? You was sitting behind the door, shivering, right? You prayed that you didn't get the almighty C-19, right? Many of you did comply, right? And then the Epstein files, that was also a test. Let's see if there will be an uproar once they find out what we're really doing, right? The kind of fun that we're having, the kind of evil fun that we're having. Let's see if they'll actually do something, right? They released the Epstein list. They showed you who was on it. They showed you who was doing what. Nobody. And I mean, nobody bust a move. Instead, everybody was having a party, right? Celebrating FIFA. Instead, everybody was celebrating the NBA finals. Everybody went on about their regular old day like nothing had happened, right? I want y'all to understand something, right? And this is coming from somebody who has relocated to a whole new country. I just want to say that America probably has to be the most transparent, right, government that exists really on the planet, right? And this is coming from somebody, I talk my ish about America. I say what I need to say, blase, blase, blah. But I want y'all to understand this and understand this clearly, right? America has to be one of the most transparent governments, right, on this planet, bar none, right? Americans really understand how their system works, right? From the banking to, just the structure to the politics, you name it. We actually have a good system, right? If y'all get what I'm saying, right? We really, there's almost no hiding things, even though that they do hide things, but there's still almost no hiding anything, right? When it comes to political figures, we can see exactly what they're making.
This video is sponsored by American Luxury Concierge. If you're planning a trip to the Dominican Republic, don't leave your experience up to chance. At American Luxury Concierge, we help American travelers experience the country with confidence. From airport pickups and private drivers to customized itineraries and concierge services built around you. Visit AmericanLuxuryConcierge.com to book your trip, and we'll see you here in Santo Domingo.
We can see the investments that they're making. We can see who's accepting money from who. We can see if people are accepting from money from APEC. We can see if what donors are giving to who, right? We can see if they're accepting money from who, right? We can see all of these things, right? But still, Americans will not bust a grape. There's many other countries around the world where they're hiding almost everything. There is no transparency. They literally don't know where the money is going. They're literally stealing money, right? In many of these countries, they're literally stealing money, right? They have no clue where the money is going, right? And they wish you would say something. Right? They'll put police in the streets so fast and they shoot first, ask questions later. I want y'all to understand, right? As many issues that we have, right? We still have one of the best structural systems that has ever existed with all of its faults. Right? This is coming from somebody who day in and day out criticize things in America. But I also have to admit, I also have to understand, I also have to tell the wholehearted truth, the complete 360 truth. We have the best structural, transparent system to ever exist on this planet. And that's why things that are going on, it frustrates me so much. That's why it really hurts me to my soul how unpatriotic people are, right? Some of y'all may say, well, you're going against America and blah, blah, blah. No. You're misunderstanding. Me delivering and me telling, or giving constructive criticism and me wanting the country to be on one accord is not being, unpatriotic, right? And in actuality, I'm probably being the most patriotic, right? The people who are being unpatriotic is the people who are saying that they believe in the Constitution, but when it comes to every other person that is considered America, they don't think that the Constitution, is supposed to be for them, or they only want to uphold the Constitution when it fits whatever they desire instead of the complete picture, right? Those people are really unpatriotic. Right, I'm probably the most patriotic that it can get, but it's just so frustrating that we exist in a very robust and transparent system, and you can see all of the corruption. Right, it's literally not. They're not even hiding anything. It is literally right there. Right? They're rolling out AI. They're literally telling you that we're going to turn this into a techno oligarchy. Right? It is clear as day that Elon Musk literally donated, right, a bunch of money just for Trump to win the election, to do his bidding. It is clear as day. Right? All of these things are clear as day, and they're literally laying it down on a table for you to see. But nobody is going to do anything. Right? So when people make these videos about, when are the people going to uprise? When are the people going to do this? When are the people going to do that? Listen, man, it's really a shame. That's a nervous laugh, right? It's really a shame that we can stay in one of the most powerful countries in the world. We understand the power, right? We understand that just off the Constitution alone, the power is in the people. We understand that, it is up to the people to do something. However, everybody is standing just whistling. Everybody's turning a blind eye. How is this possible? How is this possible? One, I would say most people are just scared. Most people are scared of the facts. Most people are scared of the truth because most people have been brainwashed and lied to for their whole entire lives. You've been lied to about morality, right? You've been lied to about good and evil. You've been lied to, right? You think just because somebody is a politician, you think just because somebody is a doctor, you think just because somebody is a police officer that automatically makes them moral. No, not at all. Right? That's the reason why we have guidelines and laws and structure to hold people accountable, because guess what? You guessed it. People are not the most moral, right? Doesn't matter the position. Doesn't matter if they're politicians. If anything, right, you give a man some power, he probably become more immoral instead of more moral, depending on their character, right? But it's more so that they will become more immoral than moral, just because that's just how power works, right? A lot of you grew up with misunderstandings of how the system works. So when you see these people, or when you hear these stories, right, that sounds like conspiracy theories from the dang-on 1980s, right, or the 2000s, when you hear these things, it just doesn't sound, you're incoherent, right? You can't fathom the fact that, nah, that's not true, right? I've met people, literally. I've met people who literally said, nah, I don't think Trump would be doing that. Bro. They literally have emails. They literally have transcriptions. They literally have evidence on many different people. But I don't think, Trump wouldn't do that. He's not a sicko. I'm sorry to break it to you, but him, along with Andrew Tate, and everybody of the like, and everybody else who was named, celebrities and all, right? Yes, they're sickos. Yes, they're sickos. But that's just, y'all gotta understand, that's just breaking the surface, right? That's just breaking the surface with what's happening in the United States. Oh, you have no clue. Y'all have no clue about the insurmountable amount of corruption that is happening all across the world. Right? You think the United States corruption is something, man, please. Right? Y'all haven't seen real corruption. Right? At least the United States, at least they're being transparent with you. At least in the United States, you have the Constitution that literally backs you up if you want to overthrow the government. Right? In these other places, no. That's not possible. At least in the United States, the middle class, or what used to be the middle class, right? You still hold some kind of economic power to oust people, right? To get people up out of there, right? At least in the United States, you have access to the most guns probably on the planet, right? At least you have that. In these other countries, no, that's not possible. And still, even with that, in these other countries, people have risen for much less. Right? In these other countries, when things are not being as transparent as they would like it, when things are happening not to their liking, oh no, it's on. They're burning the whole country down. Right? In many of these countries, politicians just running as a politician, their life is on the line. Right? In the United States, politicians are protected. Right? Because we have the rule of law, right? We seem to be, more civilized than everybody else, quote unquote, right? Or we just have enough comfortability, right? We just have enough access to vices, right? To where we don't really take that route. But many of these other places, look how Mexico is, right? Mayors get knocked down all the time in Mexico, right? Their lives get threatened all the time. Just look at with the past election with Colombia, right? Colombia is known for knocking down politicians, right? And this happens all over the world, right? With things happening of much lesser degree. But it just seems like the United States, right, have all of this going on, and you still have people who are believing in this administration. You still have people believing that MAGA can't do any wrong, right? You still have people believing that the politicians are coming to save the day. You still have people believing that the system is just going to correct itself. No. Sometimes you gotta press Control Alt Delete, right? You know when your laptop gets stuck, right? And it could be a great laptop, but sometimes it gets stuck. It's still a machine, right? Yes, it has its code. Yes, it runs off of code, and most of the times it runs smooth, right? Most of the time it runs smooth, but you're gonna come across those hiccups where the screen freezes, the browser freezes, and you got to press Control Alt Delete to reset that motherfucker, right? The United States is in a time period where it's time to hit Control Alt Delete, right? But it's going to be up to everybody else. It's going to be up to the people to hit that Control Alt Delete, because this is where we're going right here, right? This is where we're going right here. And before you know it, there's no stopping the train. I've already said my opinion. I believe that the train is already gone, right? We're going 400 miles per hour plus, right? Hitting the ground. And they're stealing all the money. They're taking all their pot of gold, right? They're ransacking the whole place, selling the place out. You get this, you get that, right? And there's going to be a severe discrepancy on who has this and who has not. And that's an after pill, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Listen, the after pill is the ideology. The escape blueprint is the framework. And PFP life is how you should live. In purpose, in freedom, and in power. Hit that link in the description if you want to book a coaching call with me. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.
Welcome to the afterpill.co, your one-stop shop hub for everything that I offer. Whether you're here to book a one-on-one coaching call, join the Patreon community, explore Horizon Atlas, your relocation app, or access my latest content and resources. You'll find it all right here. Choose your path, take action, and start building the life you want.